Welcome back to the next episode of the positive news that we always share with you in this channel. And we already saw the initiatives in the international level and national level. So today we are going to predominantly cover the events and policies that surround the state governments and the public sector undertakings. So on the states level, one of the major initiatives is being that the digital survey of agricultural land has been undertaken by the Telangana government. So Telangana government has launched these pilot projects where the agricultural land coordinates will be fixed both using traditional measurement methods and land and also using drones to identify and plot and map and fix the exact coordinates. This will ensure that the this will basically ensure permanent security of the old holdings for landowners, and the authenticity of this will help the people to actually pledge and take a loan or even reduce the challenges that we may face in the courts on dispute. And the objective of the state government on something very similar of what the national government has been doing, the state government is really come forward to eliminate any land disputes. So the digital survey once again is really going to be the future, and what Telangana government has started now, we are going to see that progressively each state is going to adopt. The next major initiative once again from the Telangana state has been in floating a tender for floating solar farms. So Telangana government has basically given its nod to Singareni Coalfields, which is SSCL, Singareni Coal Collieries Company Limited, which is a major coal manufacturer for functioning out of the state. So very close to their place, they have the Mid-Maniyar Dam, and the water is also supplied to SECL from the Mid-Maniyar Dam for the thermal power plant generation. But the dam has a huge backwater, so the idea is to establish a 300 megawatt floating plant on the reservoir water. This is really a very smart move. So we saw that many years before, Gujarat started this initiative of having solar panels on top of the canals that basically they had a huge network of canal from the Godavari, the Gujarat Narmada project. And subsequently some of the states also tried it, but this is a major initiative, which means many of the dams going forward will have floating solar panels. This will benefit in two ways. There is no land acquisition cost, so the cost of your power generation will come down further. Two, it will also reduce the evaporation loss for this water that is stored in the backwater, because all the water that is stored in a reservoirs are open to the sky, and therefore the possibility of evaporation is higher. So when you have a floating solar plant, obviously it's going to take the bulk of the heat, and therefore the evaporation loss will be lesser. So it's a win-win deal both for the state government, the electricity board of the state, and also for the company which is investing, because the land acquisition cost coming down means the cost of generation is going to come down significantly. A third major initiative is coming from the state that I reside in. We have a very dynamic collector for Chennai Corporation right now. So they came in and they found out there were a lot of things which are which were very very innovatively being used to prevent an L1 from winning the tender. So they have got a new rule saying that henceforth all EMDs, the earnest money deposit for any tender, will be only through an online payment. Now it may look something very very simple. Now what was happening in Chennai Corporation, if someone who is genuine and who has really come up and been the lowest bidder, but he is not to the liking of the officer always use some way to reject the DD given by the bidder as an EMD, and therefore his bid was rejected, and then the person to whom he wished to give the tender was always chosen. Now by deciding to just make the process of online submission of payment for all the EMD will eliminate this possibility permanently. So it's a very simple and smart move. So this is what we call leveraging the technology to bring benefit to the people, because ultimately it was your tax money and my tax money which was getting frittered away. The next area of development we are going to talk about is from the public sector undertakings. So after a very long time, we all got used to the big bulky LPG cylinder painted with red. So IOC has come up with a new design for cylinders, I don't know after how many ages. So this is a very clear sign that the gas sector is hotting up. So these cylinders now have a new design, much better safety, they are lighter, and they come in smaller cylinder sizes, because it's also reflective of the type of family we are having. Earlier it was joint family, so we needed a lot more weight. Now it is predominantly nuclear families, and then we are also going into single member families. So and therefore the need for gas is not going to be so high. Anyway, the amount of cooking at homes has come down, so you're going to have much cuter gas designs coming. So we'll be able to show it up on the video as we present this. And the next major difference once again has been on the gas delivery mechanism. So now the consumers will be able to have their choice of the dealer who will deliver to their home. So the consumer or the customer will be able to pick his delivering distributor. So you log into the portal of any one of your gas distribution company, which could be HPCL, IOCL or BPCL, and then that portal or app will show you all the distributors available in your area who can come and deliver to you, and each one of the dealer will have a rating provided by the consumers. So you can always pick and choose, irrespective of where you have your account. You can choose the delivering dealer, and therefore the customer is going to have a bouquet of companies standing in his doorstep, basically offering much better and neater service. So consumers will also be able to book refills using the Umang app and the Bharat Bill payment system. So we are seeing that this proliferation of apps is beginning to benefit the customers and consumers in a great way. And the happiest thing that we have to see as a citizen and a consumer is that public sector undertakings are going through this change. So it's a very clear sign that things are hotting up. Public sector undertakings understand that their time, window that's available for them to shape up and improve is very limited. But these changes are going to bring a lot of benefit for the customer. The third important development that's coming about, we already saw in a new series that the Delhi Central Station is going through a huge redevelopment. On the same lines, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal in Mumbai, there was an invitation for redevelopment of the station, and already around GMR, Adani, and Godrej Properties are among a list of 9 companies which have been qualified for the redevelopment of this Chhatrapati Shivaji terminal. And I think after Delhi we are seeing Mumbai, and very soon we'll see maybe Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and a lot of other cities where the prime real estate of the city, which is the railway terminal system, will become extremely user friendly, and it will also become a place where you can shop and you can have a much better experience. The next change that has been made by the PSU comes from Railways. So Railways plans to use 5 MHz spectrum to boost the mobile train, mobile train radio communication system. So Railways uses signaling elaborately to increase their efficiency, and also as a necessity from a safety perspective. So this spectrum will use the LTE technologies, which is long-term evolution based seamless communication between the staff who are running the train and the people and the traffic controllers who are at the ground, and even the maintenance personnel. So this will be there will be a constant and continuous monitoring of the train movement. This will be used for alerting the maintenance staff of an approaching train, so that they can step back, allow the train to pass, and then they can continue their maintenance work. The rail traffic controllers will have a continuous seamless data of the movement of train, like the air traffic controllers, and therefore they will be able to take smart decision either to prevent an accident or alert the driver, and also maybe to increase the the capacity of the rail network. So the benefits that is foreseen from this particular effort is that it is seen that it will substantially improve the safety, it will reduce the inefficiencies and decrease the cost, because the amount of trains that can pass through a network per hour will be far higher, and this most importantly will be used in passenger trains for online video surveillance. If you see any one of the new age coaches that are there in railways today, there is a CCTV camera that is fixed, and now when you have this mobile network available all through the journey, online video surveillance is possible, which means our women are going to be safer, our children are going to be safer, and the passengers in the train can even track if some of their baggage are being lifted by hooligans. And it's going to improve the safety, it's going to improve the efficiency, it's going to bring down the cost, and it will also be used for electronic interlocking. We know that trains use the network of this thing, and in the stations and junctions there are interlocking facilities to change the line in or the platform in which they are supposed to come. So they will also, this bandwidth will also be used for interlocking sections. So today we have around 2221 stations already covered, which is around 34% of the railway network, and railways also progressively wants to use it to automate block signaling, which is a series of rail networks using the same signaling backbone to increase the efficiency. And over the next 5 years, the cost of estimated investment into this particular segment is expected to be 25,000 crores. Viewers, stay tuned. We are going to continue in the next episode more about the public sector undertaking initiatives. We are going to talk about trends. We are going to talk about innovations. Thank you for being part of this journey. Stay tuned. We'll come back to the next episodes with more positive news for you. Thank you so much.